Intro. Voting behavior in the UK has become increasingly unpredictable in recent years. This is largely due to partisan dealignment, changing social alignment such as class and education, and the rise of issue voting, particularly over Brexit. Paragraph 1.1. Voting behavior has become unpredictable due to the decline of long-term party identification, known as partisan dealignment. Evidence 1. Since the 1970s, levels of strong party identification have steadily declined, with clear evidence of vote switching between the 2015, 2017 and 2019 general elections. Analysis 1. As fewer voters feel a strong attachment to a particular party, they are more willing to change their vote between elections. This undermines the ability to predict voting behavior based on previous electoral outcomes, as votes are no longer anchored by long-term loyalty. Counterpoint 1. However, older voters continue to show strong party loyalty and vote consistently, which provided some stability in voting behavior. Despite this, they form a shrinking proportion of the electorate, so their loyalty does not prevent overall voting behavior from becoming more predictable. Link 1. As a result, the erosion of long-term party loyalty has significantly increased the unpredictability of voting behavior in modern UK elections. Paragraph 2.2. To a significant extent, issue voting over Brexit has increased the unpredictability of voting behavior. Evidence 2. After the 2016 EU referendum, Brexit became the main political issue in the UK, leading many voters to prioritise their Leave or Remain view over party loyalty. This was clear in the 2019 general election, where parties took clear Brexit positions and voters often changed their vote to support the party most likely to deliver their preferred outcome. Analysis 2. This shows that voting behavior became less predictable because it was driven by a short-term issue rather than long-term influences. When one issue dominated politics, voters are more likely to switch their support, making the election results harder to predict. Counterpoint 2. Some may argue that Brexit made voting behavior more predictable by clearly dividing voters into Leave and Remain groups. However, party positions changed and new parties briefly gained support, meaning voters had to reconsider their choices, which increased uncertainty. Link 2. Overall, Brexit-based issue voting has, to a significant extent, made voting behavior more unpredictable, supporting the view in question. Paragraph 3.3. The declining importance of social class and the rising significance of education have further reduced the predictability of voting behavior. Evidence 3. For instance, YouGov identified education as the strongest predictor of voting behavior from 2019. Graduates were significantly more likely to support Labour and the Liberal Democrats, while non-graduates disproportionately backed the Conservatives and Leave-supporting parties, cutting across traditional class lines. Analysis 3. This evidence suggests that social class no longer reliably predicts voting behavior, demonstrating clear class dealignment. Education-based divisions are more fluid and less closely tied to long-term party loyalty, increasing vote volatility and uncertainty. Counterpoint 3. Some argue that education has made voting more predictable, with graduates and non-graduates tending to support different parties across elections. However, these patterns are not as deep-rooted as traditional class loyalties, and educational divisions can shift depending on issues or leadership. As a result, voters remain willing to switch parties, keeping overall voting behavior unpredictable. Link 3. Overall, with class declining and education creating more fluid patterns, voting behavior in the UK has become increasingly unpredictable. Conclusion. To conclude, voting behavior has become unpredictable to a significant extent. While some stability remains among older voters, this is outweighed by the decline in party identification, weaker social alignments, and the impact of short-term issue voting. Therefore, these factors have collectively reduced the predictability of voting behavior in modern UK elections.